No, he actually posted that. That's President Trump's latest promise on social media. What announcement could be bigger than announcing his run for president? Who knows, but obviously we'll be covering it. You can bet he will complain about the new USA Today Suffolk University poll showing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis with a 23-point lead over the former president among Republican voters. Chris Steyerwalt's here, NewsNation political editor, Dr. Lauren Wright, associate research scholar, lecturer in politics, Princeton University. Nice to see you both. Chris, a little while ago on the program, a couple of months ago, you said this about Gavin Newsom and Ron DeSantis going after each other. Take a listen.
When Newsom goes against DeSantis, it helps DeSantis with Republican primary voters. When DeSantis goes against Newsom, the same happens for Newsom. So it's kind of a self-licking ice cream cone.
I'm thinking about the ice cream right now because I'm hungry. All right. Then I thought about what you said, which was brilliant. And what I'm wondering is this the manifestation of Democrats and the media treating Ron DeSantis like a frontrunner?
Well, yes, there is certainly truth in that. And also, he's a name, right? I think that the depth of knowledge that voters probably have about Ron DeSantis is pretty limited. This is certainly not going to be a point of broad appeal. But he has been identified as one thing, which is a person who is challenging Donald Trump for the Republican nomination. And at this point, he's going to be a blank slate onto which voters can project what they want him to be. But I think he has certainly captured the idea that he is the alternative. At this point, he is the alternative to Donald Trump. And we'll see whether that changes and that there become many alternatives to Donald Trump, which is, of course, what Donald Trump hopes happens.
Lauren, how much of this is like the alternative to Donald Trump that Joe Biden was, that voters could then cast their own view on to this relatively amorphous thing?
Well, it's too early to say sort of, is this like the landscape of a general election? No, it's really not. The dynamics in a primary are very different. But Chris is right. The blank slate aspect of DeSantis is only helping him at this point. You could say, well, hey, look how well he's doing. And that's even without a political targeted message. That's without the resources of a national campaign. And that's true. But with a national campaign and a presidential announcement come disproportionate amounts of media attention and attacks. And you have to ask the tough questions. What do you think a national abortion policy should be? Do you agree with Lindsey Graham that it should be a 15-week ban, much like you have in Florida? Would you have signed the Respect for Marriage Act that Joe Biden did a few days ago? And hey, do you think the 2020 election was stolen? Are you going to challenge former President Trump on this? Those are all questions DeSantis has not had to answer directly yet.
Right. Just ask frontrunner Paul Tsongas, President Paul Tsongas from '92. Just ask President Hillary Clinton from 2008, who were the frontrunners for so long. Scott Walker, among others. Chris, it's interesting. The Electoral College map based on the 2022 House popular vote, Axios put this out today based on some New York Times research. Is this sort of the manifestation of MAGA without the crazy, a la Ron DeSantis winning Florida by 20 points?
Well, first of all, I want to say television viewers could look everywhere tonight. This is the only place you're going to get a Paul Tsongas reference in primetime television.
That's true.
That's what's going down, America. I'm smelling what you're smoking. I'm picking up what you're putting down. Okay. Of course, Republicans won the national popular vote because they also won it in 2014. They also won it in 2010, just like Democrats won it in 2006, just like they won it in 2018. Midterms tend to be referenda on the party in power. It is true that Republicans can win in 2024 if they can make the election about Joe Biden, if they can make it about a Democratic incumbent who has low favorability ratings. And if they can do that, then they can make that happen. But what happened in 2022 was that it wasn't a clean referendum on the party in power. It was a choice election in which voters were forced to say, do we want the Trump Republican Party or do we want to stay with the Democrats? We don't like either, and that's how you got the split decision we received. But yeah, of course they won the national popular vote. It's just they haven't won the popular vote in a presidential election but one time since 1992.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.